AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
I am your host, Stassi Schroeder. Welcome to Tell Me Lies, the official podcast. What's the most unhinged thing of season 3?
Steven, because he's so evil.
I do think he is misunderstood.
You see everyone face consequences.
It's intoxicating. The writers just know how to trick you.
There's always a twist in this show. It's nothing you would expect.
Tell Me Lies, the official podcast, now streaming, and stream the new season of Tell Me Lies on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
In 1996, a movie hit theaters that posed the question, what if an alien species invaded Earth with the sole purpose of total annihilation? It delved into everything from alien autopsies, cities being leveled, and average citizens rising up and overcoming the odds to find an Earth-borne solution to stopping the attack. There was also Independence Day. But this week, we go to that very same well to see if Mars Attacks is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Three Rivers, Michigan, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? All right, we are tapping into the whiteboard list of movies that we cannot believe actually qualifies. We're playing with house money this week. We're taking it easy, but enjoying every step of the way because somehow, some way, Mars Attacks qualifies. And here to join me, equally in shock, is my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm okay, but I don't understand how we're here.
Neither do I.
What spaceship brought us here? Have we been abducted? Because Mars Attacks should not be on our radar.
Oh, should definitely not be on anyone's radar for a podcast like this. Like, seriously, how the heck are we talking about Mars Attacks? I don't understand. Like, this is a cult classic.
This movie's a who's who. Like, it would be easier at the credits if they just said who's not in this movie.
For 1996, you're not wrong. Now, we're going to have a little laugh here because, of course, this came out in December of 1996. What came out in July of 1996? Independence Day. So humanity was doomed from the get-go with 1996 films. But we're going to talk about the campier side of this. We're going to talk about Mars Attacks. But before we do, it is time to take this beloved cult classic and trailerize it.
Every now and then, a movie comes along to unveil a harrowing truth before our very eyes. In the wake of a world-threatening crisis, we are totally screwed. Based on the trading cards from a company that inflicted the garbage pail kids upon the world, and the director that made a film that taught us how to properly dance to tequila, comes a cult classic that the critics got so very, very wrong. The Martians are here, and no one in America is ready for it. Least of all, a White House, where the Joker is president, that psycho from Fatal Attraction is the First Lady, James Bond is the science head, and one of the three amigos is your press secretary. Marvel at the ineptitude of humankind as they make the universal symbol of the donut while simultaneously showing the Martians where to shoot. It's a movie that tells the world that the most fearsome weapon in all of humanity, the one tool in the toolbox of tyranny, the only way to massacre an entire species, is through country music. Tim Burton presents the best movie based on a Topps trading card, but let's be honest, if you're first in a race of two, did you really win? It's Mars Attacks, rated PG-13 for Puppy Girl.
Oh, come on. You missed Padme, They had Padme in the White House.
Okay, but she's the first daughter. She's not in charge.
She survived it, didn't she?
She also, no, I was going to say she also survived, but no, she didn't survive the Star Wars trilogy that she was in.
No, but she survived the Mars attack.
Well,
She survived the aliens.
Right?
You know.
The smart ones survive. Everyone else in this film is real dumb, character-wise at least. But yeah, this film is based on a Topps trading card series.
Fascinating. I didn't know that.
The other film based on a Topps trading card series, and we've covered it, is the Garbage Pail Kids.
Well, yeah. Then the cards couldn't have been as popular as the Garbage Pail Kids were made.
Popular enough to be redone a couple of times and to have like anniversary editions come out as well.
Was there ever a comic attached?
Funny you mentioned that. Topps actually did put out a comic book series based on Mars attacks, but I can't remember if that was before or after this film. But either way, the fact that this comes from the same company that thought up the Garbage Pail Kids, I find. Oh, and let's not be honest. The company that gave us the only chewing gum that would survive a Martian invasion, because that stuff was hard as rock.
Right? Oh, that was the nitrogen gum.
Yeah.
That kept the robot alien kind of looking like Paris Hilton, who cannot move her arms.
at least very human-like, yes.
Oh, it was creepy.
But let's get into who is in this movie. The movie stars, listen to this list of actors: Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, Martin Short, Danny DeVito, Michael J. Fox, Tom Jones, yeah, Tom freaking Jones, Lucas Haas, Natalie Portman, Jim Brown, Sylvia Sidney in the last ever movie that she would do, Jack Black, Christina Applegate, Rod Steiger, and Pam Grier. And as the voice of the Martians, the one, the only, the iconic Frank Welker, the voice of Megatron.
Ack.
But you have to listen to this almost starring, because it is huge. In the role of Jason Stone, as played by Michael J. Fox, the role was turned down initially by Johnny Depp.
I think they made a good call, though, with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, absolutely. But Johnny Depp was in the mix. In the role of the president, Warren Beatty was originally cast, but then had to walk away. Then Paul Newman was cast, and then he turned it down. Michael Keaton was also considered. But then, of course, they got Jack Nicholson. But the plan originally was for him to only play the president, with Michael Keaton in mind to play Art Land, the Vegas developer, because, of course, you have that Batman connection. But inevitably, Nicholson ended up playing both characters. The role of the rude gambler, as played by Danny DeVito, his character doesn't even have a name. He's just the rude gambler, was originally supposed to be played by Glenn Shaddix, but because of scheduling conflicts, Danny DeVito got the role. In the role of the First Lady, Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton, and Stockard Channing were also considered before being cast by Glenn Close. That's an awesome list right there. And then in the role of Professor Donald Kessler, Hugh Grant was considered, but they eventually went with Pierce Brosnan. The movie, of course, is directed by Tim Burton, written by Jonathan Gems, who is mostly a playwright but did additional script material for 1984, the movie, and actually wrote an unused script for a sequel to Beetlejuice called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Well, I kind of want to see that.
I do want to see that, actually. The film had a budget of $70 million. Domestically, it only made $37 million. Worldwide, only $101 million. When it was released on the December 13th, 1996 weekend, it debuted at number 2 with $9.3 million. Debuting at number 1, Jerry Maguire with $17 million. Also debuting that week, The Preacher's Wife debuted at number 4 with $7.6 million. Also, rounding out the top 5, 101 Dalmatians was at number 3 in its third week with $8.9 million. And Daylight was at number 5 in its second week with 4.1 million. There are some really good accolades for this film. At the 1997 Saturn Awards, it was nominated for Best Sci-Fi Film but lost to Independence Day. It was nominated for Best Special Effects but lost to Independence Day. Tim Burton was nominated for Best Director but lost to Roland Emmerich for Independence Day. Tell me if you hear a theme here. Lucas Haas was nominated for Best Performance by a Younger Actor but lost to Lucas Black for Sling Blade. Jonathan Gems was nominated for Best Writer but lost to Kevin Williamson for Scream. Colleen Atwood was nominated for Best Costume Design but lost to Star Trek First Contact. But Danny Elfman won for Best Music. At the 1997 Chicago Film Critics Awards, Natalie Portman was nominated for Most Promising Young Actress for this, Everyone Says I Love You, and Beautiful Girls. So a big year for Natalie Portman's career. She lost, though. Remember, this is Most Promising Actress. Okay? Most Promising Actress. Lost to Courtney Love for The People versus Larry Flint.
Oh, come on.
Now, I'll give Courtney Love credit. She did very good in The People versus Larry Flint, but Natalie Portman lost Most Promising Actress to Courtney Love.
Well, that was an understate, wasn't it?
that was a miss right there. At the 1997 Golden Satellite Awards, the movie was nominated for Best Motion Picture, Animated, or Mixed Media, but lost to The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Jack Nicholson was nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Comedy, or Musical, but lost to Tom Cruise for Jerry Maguire. Danny Elfman was nominated for Best Original Score, but lost to Gabriel Yard for The English Patient, and the movie was nominated for Best Visual Effects, but lost to Independence Day. At the 1997 Hugo Awards, it was nominated for Best Dramatic Presentation, but lost to Babylon 5 for the episode For Severed Dreams. And at the 1997 MTV Movie Awards, it was nominated for Best Fight for Jim Brown vs. the Alien, but lost to The Craft for the knife fight between Fairuza Balk's character and Robin Tunney's character. Now, that is not the full list of accolades, but we could be here for a while. You can find all the accolades over at imdb.com. Now, the reason why we are here is because critics are very, 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 very wrong. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 55%. So it's borderline, but we're here. The popcorn meter is actually lower at 53%. Over at Metacritic, the film has a Metascore of 52. At IMDb, 6.4 stars out of 10 for a 64% score. Letterboxd, 3.3 stars out of 5 for a 66% score. And at the movie database, 64%, giving this film an aggravated aggregate of 59%. So it's a college fail. How? What am I missing here?
Here's what I have a bigger issue understanding is the critic score was low at 55, but the audience score even lower? Come on, people.
That's what I'm not understanding here. Maybe it's me. Maybe this is one of those movies where you either get it or you don't. Maybe it's for those who love genre quirky films. Maybe there are those who don't get that it's a parody of 50s sci-fi films. But what am I missing here?
I will admit that I found last night when we did the rewatch, it wasn't as funny as I remember it from the first time I saw it. I think the first time I saw it, I was like, my mind was just blown, much like, aliens listening to country music.
Right.
So here we are. But I don't know, like maybe I just have more fond memories of watching this movie. And I don't know, some of the jokes didn't land, or it was just like I was expecting more humor. I mean, Jack Nicholson is always fantastic. He always makes me laugh. Danny DeVito as the lawyer / I don't know what, poker player. That was his credit. The cast was so fantastic. Even Pam Grier, the scene where she's driving the bus and she sees her kids and she gets off the bus, reams them out, drags them back and brings them home. I mean, the cast was so fantastic, so incredibly great. Jack Black. I couldn't picture him like without his, mountain of facial hair. Like he actually had a face. He was shaved down to his face and his hair. He was also very young. Everyone was very young. And I think that's kind of like watching it now, 20 years later.
But the weird thing too is that even in hindsight, this film still looks good and still comes across as what I remember it to be. So again, maybe this is one of those made for the genre kind of fans kind of film, but we're going to do a breakdown. We're going to find out exactly what we're missing or maybe what the critics missed.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good and in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
Año nuevo. Los mismos extra value meals en McDonald's. Ahora te puedes llevar 2 snack wraps y papitas y una bebida mediana por solo $8. Solo por tiempo limitado. Precios y participación pueden variar. Los precios pueden ser más altos en Hawaii, Alaska y California y con entrega.
We start, of course, with Jack Nicholson as the president and as Art Land, the Vegas developer. Your thoughts on Jack Nicholson in this?
Yes to both. I mean, come on. The fact that he got to play, right? He got to be, proper and authoritative. And Jack does that masterfully. But he also kind of, that seedy Vegas developer and, the scene where he's like giving the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing like that little dance. He was loving that role.
Now, apparently Jack Nicholson, according to IMDb.com, took this role without even reading the script. Why? Because of Tim Burton, because he had so much fun working with Tim Burton on doing Batman. He was like, Tim Burton said, "Hey, I want you for this film." And Jack Nicholson's like, "Yes." That's basically how that goes down. He looks like he's having so much fun in this film, in both roles. It's hard for me to tell which role he's having more fun with, as the president or as Art Land, because it's almost like tailor-made. Like there were all these other actors listed as the president. I'm like, but it feels tailor-made to Jack Nicholson. Like in his Art Land, it's almost like what would happen if the Joker opened up a Vegas hotel and tried to go legit. For the record, I would totally watch that film. You tell me you wouldn't watch a film where the Joker tries to go legit in Vegas.
Oh, that'd be so great. And I mean, this movie could have been that. It could have.
Right? And that's the thing. The joke would be on Batman, because Batman would be looking for like, where's the catch? And the Joker would be like, that would just be the chaos that the Joker. I want that movie now.
I know.
Make that happen. And then as the president, he feels like the least effective person in the room, and yet it works for him. Because of course everyone else has all these opinions, and it's almost like he's babysitting all the people working for him. The key thing is that Jack Nicholson is having fun, and if Jack's having fun, the audience is going to have fun. That translates well on screen. Then there's Glenn Close, the first lady, and of all the people considered, this is like the chef's kiss casting for this role. But your thoughts on her?
Oh, she was wonderful. She was so great. And I absolutely loved at the end where she's like, "Kill the bastards."
Right? This is one of those fascinating roles where it's like, she gets to be the first lady where it's like everything she does is for the camera. When the camera's not rolling or no one's taking a picture, it's like, screw everybody else. She's going to do what she's going to do. And it's just, you could tell just from the level of defeat that Jack Nicholson shows as the president, when like all options are kind of like off the table and everything's going to crap. You could tell that when he's not the president, she's running the show. Again, making him feel like the least effective person in the room. And I think that's good for that dynamic. But it also looks like, again, Glenn Close is having fun. You have serious actors taking on fun, goofy roles. it feels like the kind of set and the kind of production that people were just like stoked to play in that world. Natalie Portman as the first daughter, Taffy. Also, who the hell names their kid Taffy? But your thoughts on this very young Natalie Portman role?
I absolutely love the scene where the butler brings her in a pizza and she's just kind of like, she's just a teenage girl, right?
Yeah.
Like, in spite of living in the White House and, you know, who her parents are, she's just, again, just a teenage girl wanting to hang out, eat pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch TV.
Like, I take a look at this role, and like even the scene when she's walking down the hall, she can't go into a certain room because there's a tour going on, and that joke gets played off later as well in the film. But there was just something kind of perfect for Natalie Portman in this, right? It's that, you know, she's just a girl in the middle of the White House while all this is going on, and clearly doesn't want to be there, and at times probably doesn't even want to be, you know, the daughter of the president and the first lady, because she's completely ignored at times. I'll admit, like the scene at the end too, I kind of got a little chuckle. I'm like, oh, good, Padme's handing out awards to Gungans again. But it's just one of those things where I like what she did with this, even in the limited screen time that she had. Annette Bening as the hippie recovering alcoholic Barbara, the one married to Artland. Your thoughts on her?
So much fun. Oh my God. I love the scene where, you know, she's like meditating and welcoming the aliens. And then she plays it so well throughout the entire movie. Like, she's just so incredibly fun and perfect. She's perfect for the role.
See, the funny thing is, I think of Annette Bening, and two films come to mind right away. The American President, which I absolutely loved her in, but also The Siege. And when I think of her in The Siege, I'm like, that's a weighty role. That's a heavy role. Also, how does that film qualify? But still, that's a heavy role. And then along comes this role in Mars Attacks, and it's like, yep, you guys are just having fun. She is, even when her character is like back on the sauce because the Martians, you know, kind of ruined her mojo and decided to, you know, conquer the world instead of elevate the world, it's like she's still positive in a weird kind of way. Like, she's a character that's looking for spiritual awakening and a new tomorrow and gets pimp-handed by reality, but she still, at the end of the day, comes out positive. I love the fact that she looks like she's just having fun. And again, this is one of those movies where there are no bad roles. There are no bad actors. It's just a fun environment, and that's kind of cool.
What do you think if it would have been swapped between her and Glenn Close? The roles. Do you think Glenn Close could have had as much fun?
I don't think so.
I think it would have been funny.
But I don't think Glenn Close would have pulled off the light airiness. Maybe Susan Sarandon could have.
Ooh, yeah, you need someone with a hippie vibe.
Exactly. And Annette Bening actually pulled off the hippie vibe, and I like that. Martin Short as the press secretary Jerry Ross. Your thoughts on him in this?
Absolutely perfect. Oh my God. He is so funny, and he's so perfect for that role. Like, everything from just being completely oblivious and picking up female friends to bring into the White House.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The funny thing is, okay, Martin Short is just a gem, right? He is beloved. Like, there is nothing Martin Short can do in this world where it's like, oh, that was no, Martin Short's a freaking gem.
Except for by the alien woman.
Fair.
She did not love him.
No. But the thing is, you have someone as beloved as Martin Short playing a total sleazebag in a movie where you don't have any characters taken too seriously. So it takes away some of the weight of the fact that he's playing a sleazebag, but it's also kind of hard to pull off playing a sleazebag, but also still kind of come across as goofy and charming all at the same time. Like, Martin Short can do that. He's that kind of actor. I think that's fantastic. You got to love him in this role, right? I don't know if you could, like, who else could you put in that role to be able to pull that off and still come across as being okay?
Michael J. Fox. What if the roles were reversed?
You know what?
I'm all about recasting this movie. I don't know why.
No. Let's jump on Michael J. Fox here while we're talking about this, right? The thing is, the character of Jason Stone is written in a way that it feels like what would happen if Alex P. Keaton became like a financial anchor on like a CNBC kind of thing. Like, it almost feels like Jason Stone was written for Michael J. Fox, even though Johnny Depp did turn down the role. Michael J. Fox, now admittedly, and we know that, you know, the Parkinson's was kind of setting in around this time. So some limited screen time for Michael J. Fox, and they used it to effect at certain points. But the thing is, yeah, Michael J. Fox could have pulled it off. But the funny thing is, Michael J. Fox also played, I think it was a press secretary in The American President with Annette Bening.
Again, yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to recast it.
I think the belovedness of Martin Short makes Jerry Ross work, despite the fact that the character, deep at heart's a little bit of a sleazebag. Rod Steiger as General Decker. This is the general that is constantly trying to get the president to use all the nukes. Your thoughts on him?
I mean, how unfair was it that they finally get to launch and the aliens just use their own technology on them?
And, you know, breathe it in like it's helium. The thing is, General Decker feels like the joke on, you know, any kind of military policy that shoot first, ask questions later. He's so gung-ho about using all the nukes that when, you know, the president finally yells at him and says no, he like takes his clipboard and walks away like a sulky, sullen teenager. And I think that's brilliant. It emphasizes that the only thing he wants to do is nuke something. I like General Decker in this because it's very Saturday morning-esque kind of cartoon kind of character, complete with the yelling and the sulking and the hoy-hoy. Pierce Brosnan is Professor Donald Kessler. Thank God Hugh Grant didn't get this role, because I think Pierce Brosnan was pitch perfect for it.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I love the scene where he was being interviewed, and there was that kind of like flirtation going on. Oh, he is so absolutely perfect. Like he can play. He can really play any role.
Oh, yeah.
And just make it fun.
I mean, the thing is, he still comes across, like, even in the schoolboy crush on Sarah Jessica Parker's character, he still comes across as debonair and educated, where I think if Hugh Grant did it, it would come off as, you know, bumbling British charm kind of thing, like a Notting Hill kind of goofy. Okay. It wouldn't come across as debonair as Pierce Brosnan, right? There's just a charm that works for it. Clearly they had a type, because, you know, if you're going from Hugh Grant to Pierce Brosnan, you had a type in mind for this character. But I think it works well because Pierce Brosnan, again, we're talking someone who would eventually become James Bond. It works for him in this.
Kind of like debonair and very well educated.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Like complete with the pipe. Because the pipe makes it work, right? It may be a little bit of a cliche, but pipe equals educated, apple equals villain. Sarah Jessica Parker as Natalie Lake. So this is a pre-Sex in the City Sarah Jessica Parker. Your thoughts on her?
Wasn't she great until she was turned into a chihuahua?
Well, part chihuahua. But the thing is, it's like she's an airhead. The character, Natalie Lake, is. But yet still has a bigger show than her boyfriend, Jason Stone. I like the fact because it's almost as if, remember how I said the character of Jason Stone kind of feels like what would happen if Alex P. Keaton got his own TV show on CNBC? This is like if Sarah Jessica Parker's character from LA Story, Sandy, ended up with her own talk show. It's like they're continuations of characters they've played in the past. And again, because it's before Sex in the City, you don't have that preconceived notion of Carrie Bradshaw in your head because of it. And it kind of, I mean, admittedly, The schmootsy pootsy dialogue between her and the professor once they are, in fact, decapitated heads. It's a little, but remember, the film in itself is a parody. So the dialogue kind of works in that parody sense. Like, it's over the top. It's melodramatic. It's, think black and white. Oh, dear, we're all going to die. I just wish I could kiss. Like, that's the kind of parody that this film is playing against.
Oh, and I love the dramatic pauses too. Like where they just, yeah, what's happening now?
Right. Or even when like the aliens cut into the broadcast, and they kind of like sit up on the edges of the chairs, and then like, his hands on her knee, and then they start to cling to each other. And it's just so stage.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's stage performance. And the thing is, a lot of those earlier sci-fi films that this film is kind of, those B movies that this film is kind of parodying, they felt like stage performances because they were so over the top. Jim Brown as Byron Williams. This is the former boxer turned Luxor floor kind of attraction, just trying to get home to his damn wife and kids. Your thoughts on Jim Brown?
Amazing. I mean, it was so awful that, he couldn't get a raise because he definitely deserved it. Everybody liked him.
This is the only scene that I think I would have left out, because really it didn't do anything to advance the character of either character in the scene. And it also didn't advance anything except for setting up one joke. And that's when Artland picks him up while he's out on his jog and tries to convince him to rough up some guys that owe Art money kind of thing. And, he'll get some cash kind of thing. Yes, it sets up Byron as a guy trying to turn things around and, lay into that, emotional heart of the center of the film. But it feels like the scene really is only just used to set up that one joke. It's like, yeah, you gave up pork? Like, that's it. Like, if you ever wanted to shorten this movie, that's the one scene you can get rid of, and it affects nothing else. I liked him in this, right? Him going, mano-a-mano with the alien in a punching fight. Sure, great. But I think anyone else could have taken the role. Like, if you were going to remake Mars Attacks today, like, that's the role you put John Cena in.
John Cena or Terry Crews, maybe.
Terry Crews, definitely.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Or if you want to go full Hangover, you put Mike Tyson in that role. Pam Grier as Byron's wife, Louise. A small role, but Jackie Brown has entered the chat. Your thought on her?
As I mentioned off the top, Mama was mad.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my, she is so great. Like, you don't mess with Pam Grier.
No, you don't. The scene where she drags her kids out of the arcade and, pulls them onto the bus and gets a standing applause. Like, I'm just like, yes, girl.
But thus proving that video games can save the world.
Oh, we all knew that. Anyone who saw The Last Starfighter knows that.
Those kids were sharpshooters. And without them, I don't know if anyone would have made it out of the White House.
I don't know if they were sharpshooters. They were just frequent shooters. Tom Jones as Tom Jones. Like, you want to talk about someone who looked like he was having fun? But your thoughts on having him in this?
I think any film that is filmed in Vegas or revolves around Vegas contractually are obligated to write a scene for Tom Jones.
Tom Jones or Wayne Newton or Penn and Teller.
Or Carrot Top.
Or Carrot Top.
Tom Jones is Vegas.
He is.
He is.
Like, the only thing I would have gotten rid of maybe is like the scene at the end where like all the animals are coming around and starting to dance to It's Not Unusual.
Oh, come on. That was one of the best scenes.
I mean, yeah, it's the Disney ending. I get it. But it's at that point you're like, wait. What are the animals doing? And who's playing It's Not Unusual? Like, it's goofy. It's short.
It's fun.
I'll give you that it's fun. But it's also 10 seconds you can cut out of the film. Danny DeVito, very small role. How small? 6 lines of dialogue small, he says. As the rude gambler, your thoughts?
He only had 6 lines?
6 lines at about like a minute and a half of screen time.
Oh my God. But you know what? He was fun. You had every Vegas stereotype represented in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you want someone with a distinctive, grating voice. The only other person I could think of at the time might have been Gilbert Gottfried. It's one or the other you put into that role. And again, it's not a big role. I kind of like the fact that it's someone like Danny DeVito, who's just there to be part of the fun. Now, keep in mind too, this film was apparently supposed to be like a lot bigger than it was, with like 60 main characters. I'm glad they pared that down, but when you have like an actor of Danny DeVito's stature in a small role like this, along the way you're like, is this gonna be a big role? Is this bigger than I think it is? No, it's not. But he's just along for the ride, and that's fun.
I love how oblivious he was. Like, everyone's watching the television in complete fright and awe, and he's just like still playing.
He's still playing craps, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, the fact is, like, am I the only one playing here? It's like, yes, you are. But you're Danny DeVito, so it's still kind of fun. Lucas Haas, who plays Richie Norris, this is the donut shop worker who's, pushing his grandmother around in her wheelchair. Your thoughts on him?
I love that he went back for grandma.
Of course.
I love that. And saved the world. So.
Well, help save the world, but yes. Okay. As I'm watching this character feels like an amalgamation. And obviously not intentionally. But does he not remind you of the guy who played Mitch in Dazed and Confused, the guy who couldn't stop touching his nose, but also James Duval played Miguel in Independence Day? Maybe it's the long hair, but I mean, they played Richie to be, for lack of a better term, a few donuts short of a dozen.
Oh, that's harsh.
I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about Lucas Haas himself, right? I'm just talking about the character. And he did it well enough to get, notice in the awards. But the thing is, they wrote the character to be from a, for lack of a better term, uneducated family. Living in a trailer. All they want to do is shoot up some Martians. But he's the peaceful one. He's the pacifist one who ends up saving the day. So again, a little bit of a cliche, but it still kind of works. I'll admit, like the whole little, you don't have to kiss me, if you don't want to, scene with him and Natalie Portman when she's, handing out the medal. It's a little awkward.
I thought it was cute. You know what? And I really actually liked that he showed absolute respect for her. I thought it was adorable.
Okay, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it does come across as not creepy, just not the best dialogue.
No, I think at that point he realized his standing in his stature in life versus hers, and he just wanted to show her absolute respect, and I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, he also thought everyone should be living in teepees based on his speech.
Okay, well, maybe not. He's not the sharpest donut. I don't know.
The sharpest donut. Who's making your donuts, and what much mold are you using? Donuts are supposed to be round. Donuts aren't supposed to be a shiv. That's a Kreller. Sylvia Sidney is the grandmother in her final role. And I want to recognize that she apparently was in failing health while making the film, so she couldn't do long scenes. But God bless her, she was in this. Your thoughts on her? I
love her. I thought she was so good. And she's just so adorable. Yeah, I just loved her.
That is the exact word I wrote down in this. She is absolutely adorable in this. Just couldn't agree with the Taste of Music and Slim Whitman, but still,
hey,
it saves the world.
Saves the world
with Slim Whitman. One more to talk about here, because everyone else in this role has small, like Christina Applegate's in this. It's a very small role. There's not really much to say. I don't even know if she has barely any words that per se.
She couldn't talk when she was kissing everybody.
Right. Jack Black as Richie's brother, Billy Glenn. And I think this has to be talked about, because this is not the Jack Black as Carrie mentioned. No beard, no long hair, young, but still plenty of ass crack.
He was so young.
Yes.
So young. I had no idea that it was him actually until you pointed it out.
Well, this is every now and then you get a film, right? And it's got a big cast and you watch it the day and it's like, okay, cool. There's a character or whatever, he's disposable. And then you go back and watch it and you realize that when you watch it, it's 30 years old this year. This film turns 30 this year. I don't want to make you feel old, but Mars Attacks turns 30 this year.
I'm just feeling like my math is off. I said 20 earlier.
No,
I
30.
I can't math.
No, you can't allow yourself to get past 20 years. No, it's 30 years old this year. Every now and then you watch a film from back then, and it's a young role of someone who made it big. And you go back and you watch those younger roles, and he was so baby-faced. He was. But he was still, you could see what he would become with this. Because even some of the comedy that he pulls off now, with Tenacious D and some of the other roles that he does, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see this, this character knock down a Martian with a gun and then stop and go, I'm Steve.
Yeah. I mean, he's had an incredible career. Was this his first role? I'm thinking not, because for him to be in this movie, this is a movie with namers. And I have a feeling that there had to have been other movies.
There were actually 10 films where he was in it. Now, not all of them, his character had an actual name. They were just smaller characters, but there are some big names in this film, or in this filmography. His first film was Bob Roberts with Tim Robbins in 1992. Then in 93, he was a wasteland scrap in Demolition Man. In 94, he was in The Neverending Story 3. In 1995, he was in Waterworld, as well as Bye Bye Love and Dead Man Walking. 1996, the year this film came out, he was in a total of 5 films that year. There was one called Cross Worlds, never seen it, never heard of it. But he was also in Biodome, The Cable Guy, and The Fan. So it's the start of a career for him. But one must remember that one of the very first Jack Black roles was in a commercial for the video game Pitfall in 1982. So after taking a look at all of this, right, all of the actors, all of the fun, the aliens look pretty good too. I know they initially wanted to do stop motion animation, very much in a Ray Harryhausen kind of style, but they just didn't have the time in order to be able to do that. So they went with CGI. I still don't get it. I don't understand what the critics didn't see about this. Like, maybe it's the idea that this film came out in the same year as Independence Day. Now, admittedly, Independence Day came out in July. This came out in December.
Yeah, but they're not even in the same ballpark. They're completely different movies. This is like fictional fun.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Independence Day is, documentary or anything, but it's fun. Like, it was meant to be a fun laugh, a laugh out loud comedy.
Yeah. So, I guess the thing too is that when you consider how niche the source material is, like trading cards, Topps trading cards, like that's a little niche.
But if you don't even know that, and if you just take it for what it is, it's funny.
But to the same time as well, like, genre films don't necessarily go over well with the critics, right? Disaster film is still a genre film, but disaster films do have their place. Sci-fi films seem to get the bum's rush from critics on a large percentage of them. Like, I take a look at Surrogates, the Bruce Willis movie that we covered years and years ago. It's based on a comic book. I didn't know that, right? At the time, I didn't know that. But the critics still panned it. You take a look at Valerian and the planet of or City of a Thousand Planets or whatever it was. And it's based on like an obscure French comic book that inevitably also helped to inspire Star Wars. And the critics panned it.
I liken this to The Big Bounce, where it's a ensemble cast. It's a laugh out loud comedy and based on a book, but it's brought with humor.
I mean, you and I see The Big Bounce a little differently, I think. But again, it's one of those things where maybe the source material and the idea of the parody went over the heads of some critics. I just don't understand it. There are some times where the critics and the audience, that's the thing. If this is a cult classic, why is the audience so low on this? Lower than the critics. It baffles me. Maybe it baffles me because I like the film a lot. And maybe we talked about this on a number of ensemble cast movies. The weight of expectation. You have Oscar and future Oscar winners in this. You have Oscar nominees in this. The cast is star-studded. You expect it to be perfection with a cast like that and a director like that.
But everybody brought it. Like, it's not like anyone mailed it out. It was funny. And all of the actors came to play. And that's the thing. It was play. It was like they looked like they were having fun. So the audience should have been having fun. I don't understand where the disconnect was.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is you're right. You can't really compare this to Independence Day, aside from the fact that they are two alien invasion films, both released in 1996. That's it.
Do you think it's because the aliens somewhat won? That the president didn't win in the end? Do you think?
Well, you know what's funny? It's funny you mentioned that. Like, both Jack Nicholson characters got killed. Apparently, and again, this is according to IMDb, but apparently people had been telling Tim Burton that you can't kill off a Jack Nicholson character. So Tim Burton cast him in 2 roles so he could kill them both.
See, I love that. I love that.
But I this is one of those ones I'm never going to understand. This is one of those ones where I sit there and go, there's a reason why this podcast exists. Because I can appreciate personal taste, but I just don't get how this film hasn't, and I'm not even asking it to say, oh, this is a 100% film. This is the greatest film ever. No. 60%. Like, that's not asking much out of critics. 60% for a film that is a cult classic. The only thing this rating tells me is that, as in most things in life, a third of the people are wrong. This film is funny as hell. It's definitely better than any rating, any of the numbers, because they're all kind of in and around that same ballpark. The fact that the range, I think, is like what? Maybe 10 percentage points from top to bottom? Not much more. Better than the average of 59%. This film will make you laugh still, even 30 years later. But now it's time to figure out what the brightest spot of this is. So, Carrie, who's your MVP of Mars Attacks?
Oh, I'm so not prepared for this. Can I just pick everybody because they were so great?
No.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Jack Nicholson because really, like, he is so incredibly great. And again, of all the actors look like they were having fun. Oh my God. Martin Short looked like he was having fun. I don't know. Like, if an actor can portray their character, not break character, but you get that feeling that they are just eating up the role. They are just stealing the scene. And that was Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to not pick Jack, but I didn't pick Jack.
That's okay. I did.
That's okay. Jack is my honorable mention for sure. I'm going with Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
I loved him in this. I mean, I like Pierce Brosnan, in his acting to begin with, but it looked like he was having as much fun with this film as he did when he was in Mrs. Doubtfire. Because of course he would get those James Bond spy action movie kind of roles, and it's like, let someone have fun. Everyone was having fun in this. Before we go, I'm going to ask you one question, and I know I didn't prep you for this. The fact that we're talking about this film still baffles me. And I need to find something or some reason, because it's bugging me. It is. So, Carrie, who is or at least is there anything that you would change out of this film? Is there a low spot here?
Ooh. I think that if I were in charge, and I'm not, because I trust, Tim Burton had a vision, he had a plan, I would have left one alien alive. And that alien would have been in the final scene with Tom Jones and the dancing animals and the birds. And I think that alien would have tried to take out the birds, maybe even Tom Jones. And that's not a knock on Tom Jones. But I just think, that would have been probably the perfect ending.
Yeah, see, I'm really racking my brain here and trying to find something negative to say. That tells you how much I like the film. I don't really know if there's anything that I didn't like about the movie. Aside from like I said, the one scene with Jim Brown and Art Land in the limo. But if you're sitting there picking on just one scene, that doesn't make it a bad movie. And yes, I would have loved to have seen some kind of cameo from Slim Whitman, the country music artist whose yodeling voice is the weapon of mass destruction. Had they been able to get him into the film, that would have been a pièce de résistance. But then again, maybe not. I don't know. And yes, the resolution did feel a little quick. But at what point do you just end the film? Right? I can't even. Critics, you have baffled me. Critics, you have been wrong before, but you are so very, very wrong here.
The audience baffles me.
Yes. I don't get it.
Like, were we watching a different cut of the movie? I don't understand.
I'm putting this out there, right? Dear listeners, I really, really, really need your help on this. I need to know what the heck was wrong with this film. Because I can't see it. I cannot see anything wrong with this movie. So what am I missing? Like, I know we're here to say good things, to find good things about unfairly maligned films. And sometimes it's hard. This is one of those films where it's hard to find something bad about this movie. So listeners, hit us up on social media, Not That Badcast, or go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. I need to know, is there something you see in this movie that would lead any critic or any audience member to sit there and say, Mars Attacks, meh. Hit us up. I need to know. This is baffling me. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify, I'm going to put this question into the actual Spotify page. Is there anything wrong with Mars Attacks? Let us know. But until next time, you guys know the drill. If there's a movie there that you think is unfairly maligned, or there is no way in a Martian spaceship that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media or go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to the page so you get notified immediate when we drop new episodes. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.